to you. So what we're talking about today is how to, and this is something that you guys, as I go on video, I always am thinking of what are things you guys need to know as you're going through this whole, setting up your personal brand and actually creating the entire, like building it, right? So it's not just a one-off that kind of like hits and then dies and then does nothing else, or just doesn't hit at all, right? We want for it to be able to be successful, but then we want for it to be able to truly build out, right? And so today's topic is how to protect your communities, okay? So the reason that I'm talking about that is because that is one of the main drivers of my success, but I would say most people that are not utilizing ads, people that are truly just forming bonds with people and creating that safe culture and that safe community, we're able to do that because of the way that we mitigate and the way that we manage our communities, okay? And a big part of that is how we keep them safe and how we protect them, okay? And that might sound a little bit dramatic, but as I get into it, you're gonna realize it's very real. Like people are not gonna stay in a place that they don't feel safe in, okay? So anywho, then you can't help them. So we wanna make sure we can help people. So we wanna make sure that we have a safe place in our communities. So first question is, hey, good morning, Darlene, I see you. First question is, what exactly is a community, right? And if you feel like oh my gosh. Okay, so they've knocked over, let me just say, the chinchillas have now, I wish I could just show you. The chinchillas have now knocked over their wheel that they used to run in all the time, right? They have knocked it over and they just tried to run in it sideways. So anyway, that's what's happening on the chinchilla front today. So what is a community? A community can be anything from like a Discord group or a Facebook group. It's typically a group, right? Where it's a container. It sounds weird to say, but it's like a container of people. Makes it sound like it's, like they live in your refrigerator or something, but they don't. It's a container. It's where people are able to access you, but then it's also where they're able to form bonds with each other as well, right? Because while you're the one that is sort of like teaching and training and giving like guidance and bringing in super friends and that sort of thing, while you're the one that does that, your main goal isn't that everybody's like bowing down to you. That's weird. The main goal is that you're able to create bonds with other people that are in the group, right? You want them to be able to be friends with each other, to be able to support each other and that sort of thing. Like that's really the goal of the entire thing, right? Other than also getting them sort of sequestered into a little place where they can feel safe, seen, heard, ask their questions without everybody on the planet knowing the question that they just asked and blah, blah, blah. So how do you keep that safe? Now, from a perspective of somebody who, I just want to see the best in everybody, I'm going to be honest with you. And so when people do sideways things to me, I give them every benefit of the doubt to say, well, maybe that was a one-off, right? Well, maybe that was like, maybe they weren't really being a skis ball right there. Maybe they just like misspoke or whatever. From a person who has done that, I mean, that's who I am. That's what I do. And I personally have let people go way too long in my groups and then I finally had to just, the term is ban in Facebook anyway, the term is ban. And that's where you ban them from the group and then all of a sudden they just can't see the group anymore, right? And that's what that is. But the only reason that I ever do that, like I don't like to do that, okay? I really don't like to. Because I think everybody has, is redeemable, I think. But the truth is, see, you're going to see the internal dialogue with me even as I'm doing this, right? But the truth is at that stage, if people are showing you who they are, and they're showing you that they are devious, scheming, if they're showing you that they have an ulterior motive, if they're showing you that they're actually not there for the purpose of the group and they're wanting to use the group and sort of like have access to the people in the group for another reason, which looks a lot like a wolf in sheep's clothing, that's when it's time. You need to cut the cord and you need to just ban them, no questions asked. Here's something I need you to know, because this is something I had to go through and took me a long time. And I'm thankful for my team for me to be able to sort of like bounce things off of them. Like, guys, what do you think about this? What do you think? Am I crazy? The way that I'm seeing this, am I nuts? And they're like, no, you are not nuts. That looks weird. And so I've got a great team to be able to do that. But if you don't have the team, what I want you to do is I want you to be able to look at the individual and say, like, is this person, do you feel like you can trust this person? That's the filter. Notice it's not, do you have proof of X, Y, and Z? We're not here to prove things, right? Do you feel like you can trust them? Our intuition does a lot for us, guys, okay? Do you feel like you can trust them? If the answer is not a resounding yes, absolutely 100% I can trust them, yes. If the answer is not that, then get them out, okay? If they're starting to do things and then you find yourself, I have spent way too much time, man, I'm trying not to get on a soapbox about this, but me and my team have spent way too much time in the past 4 years going over, well, should we or shouldn't we, or should we or shouldn't we, and what does this mean that they did, and what does this mean, that what if they didn't mean that, and like, who cares? Do we feel like we can trust them? If the answer is no, get them out. Do not allow them to feed on your people. Again, wolf in sheep's clothing. We are to be stewards, shepherds of our people. And that means if we see something sideways, then we need to remove that person from our flock, so to speak. Okay, just in this illustration, we need to take them out. And so what I'm letting you guys know is in your own groups, when that happens, because everybody comes to me and they're like, well, this person did this, what do I do? Freaking remove them. That's what you do. They don't own access to you, okay? Even if they bought something at one point, they don't now forever and ever, amen, own access to you. Okay, that's abusive. Not just to you, but to everybody else in your group. And you guys, whenever you allow the sort of like the people with ulterior motives and alternative agendas, when you allow those people to just move about freely in your group, what you're doing is you're now making it unsafe for everyone else. And so what I'm saying to you is get them out. Don't get wishy-washy with it. Here's why I didn't want to ban people previously. Because I didn't want the conversation afterward, quite frankly. I didn't want people to come to me and say, why'd you kick me out of the group? And then me have to say, well, because I don't trust you. I didn't want to have the conversation with people, guys. And so I left them in. Listen, this year, that ain't happening. I already removed a couple people this morning. It's not happening. I'm not playing games anymore, right? And I want for all of us to be able to say, my group is safe. I feel safe in my group. My people feel safe in my group. The moment that I see anybody do anything sideways, they're out. Because it's your group, okay? It's your place. And this is both for, hear me, this is both for your lead groups and your free groups and also your paid for groups. Here's what I do is I have like my courses and stuff like that. I have them in what are called vaults, and they will still, if they paid for it, they still have access to the vault. They still have access to what they paid for. My groups are like the icing on the cake, right? That's the community that goes alongside the thing, but you don't forever and ever, amen, get to be a part of that community. If you prove yourself untrustworthy, you're out. Period, right? And that is to keep everyone else safe, all right? And so as you're watching this, you might be like, Martha, that's a little bit dramatic. There's going to come a day where you're going to think back and be like, what did Martha say about when this would happen? Because it's going to happen to you. It happens to everybody because these people exist in the world. Now, does that mean that the person needs to forever and ever, amen, be out of the group? Not necessarily. People change. But in the season they're in right now, they can't be trusted. And so let's see it as that. You know what I'm saying? Let's just see it as that. It's hard for us. Let's just call it this morning. It's hard for us because we freaking love people, right? And I want to be able to help as many people as possible. But listen, if there's an energy of skis-ballness in there, you gotta go. Because I don't trust you with my people now. That's it. It's not a character judgment. It's not anything like that. Again, the filter is this. Do I trust these people? Yes or no? If the answer is no, get them out. Period. I love you guys. We have 4 days left until HBR starts. We are getting everything all lined up today. And just remember, if you are not in yet, this is 7 income streams set up in 12 weeks. And you might be like, that sounds crazy. No, it's crazy awesome. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that can get in your way of success with this. You are going to be able to do this. If you have not had a conversation with me about it, make sure that you do. The info is in the caption of this video, okay? How to be able to have a chat with me. You have to be in by midnight on the 31st. The doors literally shut, and this is not Martha saying the doors shut and then I open the doors for another week. No. When we start on January 1st, when we start, you won't be able to get in until the next one, okay, which is going to be 4 months from now, all right? So you could be off to the races and starting to create income, or you can wait until the next one. Totally up to you. No shame, no shade, whatever, either way. But if you want in, make sure that you're in. I just don't want the messages on January 1st because this is the truth. You're not going to be able to get in. So I love you guys. Adios.